Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back for another video. Today's video we will be doing G2 versus Fnatic. This is game 1 of the LEC final. We'll be doing the entire series and also the final for every team going in the world. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be 100 videos. But we're gonna be doing this whole series first, so stay tuned for that. That out of the way, let's get right into it. Okay, I do have to say that I actually haven't seen this game. So this will be a blind review, which is kind of actually how I prefer to do it. I watched half of game 2 and the rest of the series. Honestly, I was just asleep when this game was on live because it comes on pretty early where I am. So this is a blind review actually, so this makes it more fun. I do like talking about the draft a lot, so we're going to talk about the draft. The draft is pretty interesting with the Pyke first pick. I think this is the only series you'll see in the entire world. I mean, I could be wrong. This is like the only series you'll see in the entire world where Akali is left open and Pyke is first picked on blue side. But that just speaks to this matchup because Pyke is going to be a contested pick in this entire series, I would imagine, because Hylissang and Mikyx are such good Pyke players. Pyke isn't really a flex pick anymore. You might be thinking, oh, they'll flex it to jungle or mid or top. It's not really much of a flex pick anymore, so it's kind of like stuck in the support lane since all the changes to the AoE abilities. But I just thought that was really funny that this is probably the only series in the entire world that Pyke is the most contested pick in the game 1 rather than Akali. Okay, cool. So we're just going to talk about the draft strategy first, and then we'll talk about what both teams can do with their team composition. Cool. So we picked Pyke at the 1, and then we got Akali and Sylas at the 1-2. So the Akali, obviously you're going to pick that. Nemesis is a good Akali player. You pick Sylas at the 2 because Sylas is oftentimes the answer into Akali because at 6 you take her ultimate, and a lot of times you can win that matchup. You usually lose the early game as Sylas if the Akali player is good. But you can do some interesting things at 6 once you actually get her ultimate. Your kit is kind of made to survive the Akali burst, and then you can reburst her back, which she's not equipped to handle. So a lot of times Sylas is the counter matchup and a high priority pick, so you pick those two together. That makes a whole lot of sense. Something that G2 did is they banned Rakan. They're kind of saying that they're not going to take the Xayah at their 2-3 and denying them Xayah 1-2. It would be interesting if they left it open and left the Akali open. Then they and left the Akali open, because then maybe that would incentivize Fnatic to take Xayah Rakan, so that they don't. Might incentivize them to take Xayah Rakan, and then Akali's left open for G2 if they still want to first pick Pyke. So that would have been an interesting change to the draft. That's getting a little bit ahead, but yeah, obviously the TF ban they have to do because Nemesis plays TF and really oppressive. They have to ban Aatrox on blue side because they don't want to pick it with their first pick, and Bwipo's probably one of the best Aatrox players in the world, honestly. So they have to ban that. I honestly think Aatrox isn't even the best first pick champion, even on this patch, unless you are a good Aatrox player. You know, a lot of people would disagree with me with that, but you pick Aatrox as a weak side champion. I think Renekton's a better blind, honestly, unless you're a good Aatrox player like Bwipo is. So yeah, there we go. Cool. The Kled is picked in the first rotation. I thought that was kind of interesting because it seems like you could have just picked your bottom laner there if you wanted the Xayah. It seems like they want to kill in. It seems like you could have just picked your Lucian and maybe later picked the Kled. It doesn't seem like Kled is too contested of a pick, but I guess they already knew they were going to counterpick because they're on blue side anyway, so they just picked the Kled because they prioritize that more, and Lucian's not going to get banned out, so I guess that makes a little bit of sense. They pick Lucian for the kill lane. Also, Perkz loves playing Lucian. He calls himself a Lucian one-trick. And then the LeBlanc is late picked. LeBlanc has a decent matchup into Akali early. She can bully Akali out of the lane, and Sylas is usually a counter pick to LeBlanc. A lot of times, not a direct counter, but somewhat of a counter pick to LeBlanc. And that's already off the table, and you know that's going into the jungle by the time that's picked. Or you would assume so. You would assume Bwipo's not going to play the Akali, even though that he can. Akali is most likely going to be in the mid lane, so pick right there as a power champ. I would still get Fnatic's draft, so they pick the Akali Sylas. I've already explained why they do that. And then Xayah is the best champion, best bottom lane champion in the game right now, so don't really need to explain that. So starting off first round, you gotta really like what Fnatic has. And then they lock up with a kill lane on the first pick. So they get Xayah and Leona. That makes it pretty scary. Lucian can obviously avoid a lot of the stuff you want to do, but it makes it scary for the Pyke to engage, and then you can stun him and lock him up with the Xayah feather. So they actually drafted a kill lane right there. I actually favor that lane matchup. And then we last pick with the Jax, which is somewhat of a counter matchup to Kled. So obviously when Kled goes in and starts getting his auto attack passive, you can nullify that damage. It's very hard to kill Jax in lane. You can't out-trade him in the early game, but if you've ever seen a Jax being played, once he gets 2 items, he is an unstoppable monster. So it's a hard outscaling matchup in the side lane. So it's a counter matchup in the sense of it does okay in lane against the Kled because you can nullify the damage. It's hard to kill Jax in lane as the Kled because Jax can nullify so much of what you want to do. And then after 2 items, Jax is an unbeatable monster. I'm surprised it's taken this long for Jax to come into pro play since Sojourn came out. That item morphs this champion into really an unstoppable, crazy thing. I don't know if that turns out to be what happens in this game, but it's pretty insane. So let's actually look at their team comps after they've already switched all their champions. Wow, they switched it in 5 seconds. Okay, so let's talk about what each team composition can do. Okay, so just looking at G2's draft without looking at it comparing to Fnatic's draft, we have a kill lane bottom, we have an aggressive laner in the mid lane, and we have a split push and flanker, and kind of an engaged champion in the top lane, and engage in the jungle, and a jungler that can pull off some early game plays. So let's talk about win conditions. This team spikes really hard in the mid game. So LeBlanc's strongest point in the game, I mean LeBlanc does well in the late game, but her strongest point in the game is when she has Ludens and then double pin items, or just Ludens and pin boots, is when she really spikes hard and can pop off. Lucian pops off at 1 and 2 items. Pyke, as soon as he gets his Mobies and his Sightstone, is an insane champion. Obviously scales well into the late game. Gragas is good the entire game, but he's very good at 6. And then Kled is very good at 2 items as well. He can scale decently into the late game, but in this matchup, he doesn't actually scale that well. So they have a super spiking mid-game comp, and if they can get ahead, they can just snowball through the game. So this is a very G2 draft. So get ahead in the early game, explode in the mid-game, not give your enemy a chance to succeed. Okay, let's look at red side. I think red side's much better side in draft almost in all scenarios, honestly. There's specific team matchups where it might be better. This might be one of them, but I think Fnatic actually won out in the draft. So they have a hard outscaling top laner. So Jax at 2 items, as I said, is a split pushing machine. They can run 1-3-1 with this composition really well. Leona has a lot of disengage. Xayah has a lot of disengage. The jungler is Sylas, so Sylas can take the Gragas ultimate, disengage with that. And Sylas can take Pyke ultimate, so that's actually great into the Pyke. There's a lot of good ult targets. The Sylas can take the Kled ultimate, can make him into an engaged champion. This champion, or their team composition, the only thing that's lacking is they only have 1 engaged type, and it's pretty telegraphed to Leona engage. So unless you have flash and you just flash stun ult, it's very easy to get out of the Leona ult after you see it, and you can obviously just see her walking up unless she comes out of fog. But you can take the Kled ultimate or the Gragas ultimate and be an engaged champion that way. So if you can't get it with Leona engage, maybe you just take the Kled ultimate, you fly in, you do your mess. But really, this composition is looking to play the side lanes and disengage. This team composition also has some decent mid-game spikes. So Leona is great in the early game, great in the mid-game. Xayah is okay. Not, obviously you'd want to favor the Lucian in the mid-game. Akali is a monster at Gunblade, so like level 8, level 9 is a monster. And then level 11 is pretty insane. So it has a big mid-game spike, obviously scales well into the late game. Sylas is great in the early game, a great early game jungler, can make things happen. The lane that he has a lot of gank pressure is going to be in the bottom lane, so look for them to be making plays around that lane. I think this matchup is going to be a lot about the bottom lane with a Gragas set up with Lucian and Pyke, and then the Sylas set up with the Xayah and Leona is pretty good. Top lane is going to be a farm fest, and maybe some kills can happen if a certain player gets out of position, get jungle attention up there. It's going to be very hard to kill the Kled, but with jungle attention you can kill the Jax for sure. So Fnatic has a 1-3-1 composition with a decent mid game, but hard outscale with this comp in the late game. So as long as they don't lose the early game really hard, I actually favor Fnatic's comp quite a bit in this game. So cool. So let's just get right into the game. And this is at ×2 speed, so we are going to be watching this at ×2 speed. And I'll stop every now and then to kind of talk about what's going on in the game. But I like to watch these at ×2 speed, or they take forever. All right, let me move my camera down. Alrighty. I like to pay attention where jungles. Look at this dude. I like to pay attention where jungles start. Let's see if my hotkeys are working. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Looks like they're both going to start on red. Oh no, Sylas is actually starting Raptors. I see. That's a pretty good start for him. So he doesn't need a leash. Neither of them are taking leashes, and they're both starting on Raptors. Let's see if they both do the Krugs clear. It's very good on both champions. Alright, so they're both doing Krugs clear. Just some standard trading in lane right now. Let's see where they head after that, because there's a lot of options after you do Krugs clear. You can stay on your side of the map, initiate vertical jungling, or you can start pathing towards bottom side, and bottom side, get the Scuttle Crab, look for a gank. Oh. You can path bottom side, look for a gank at level 3, reset, and then look for a gank at top. But it actually looks like we have a little bit of fighting going on right here. Oh wow, and just straight up loses that. So as I said before, if the Pyke goes in, Leona can lock him up, get him with the feathers, and so just a kill lane. So that's why I said I favor the kill lane for Fnatic so much more. And I haven't seen this game, so that would happen. Alright, so it does look like Jankos is doing a full clear bottom side, coming in for a lane gank. Let's see how this works out. Okay, so he did show. So Perkz had to heal, and then Rekkles flashed as well. So this is just saving them from this. Oh wow. And then Perkz just flashed forward. Oh, Perkz didn't have heal. He has cleanse. That's what he did. He cleansed for the movement speed. That was pretty big right there. This is Gragas' flash, so he would not be able to make a play for quite a bit. It'll be important to see what Broxah does. So, surprised Broxah didn't vertical jung, but you do get pretty low health on Sylas on the first clear nowadays, since all the nerfs. I didn't put that into. Oh wow. Okay, so Jankos just stays in lane after Rekkles TP'd back in. That's a big yikes. Ugh. Oh, is this a Fnatic game? I see. Okay, so Leona got double kill. Kled got a kill. So far this is benefiting. So far this is benefiting Fnatic, it looks like. It's important to look at where the waves are at. So top wave. It does look like it's... Is it freezing? I can't tell. I can't tell if it's freezing or it's pushing into tower. Either way, Bwipo is getting denied right now. Oh no, it is. This is so much more beneficial for the Jax. Even though he got a kill, so that's going to be a lot of gold, but it is pushing towards Bwipo. So he just lost a whole entire minion wave. He's about to lose. Sorry, I'm obsessed with minion waves. Going to lose a second minion wave. Broxah looks for a play on Caps. This is just a pressure gank because he's able to do it. Goes in, and they're actually trading Raptors right now. Wow, Jankos is so active right now. Oh, Broxah hasn't even taken his blue buff. Oh, okay, he left one up. Okay, he left one up, and then Broxah's Raptors are going to fully reset. Important thing right here is that Jankos is going to come down and get this Krugs. If you don't know, your second Krugs are super powerful, so he didn't get denied second Krugs, so that's good for him. Broxah is going to be able to actually full clear up towards his Krugs and maybe look for a gank topside is what I think he'll probably do. It'll be most XP efficient. He is a level behind, but he should get level 4 off of this camp. And then maybe get level 5 after he does Wolves and second Krugs. But it does look like, as I said before, everybody's trying to make plays around bottom because it's still no sums on Perkz, no sums on Mikyx, and they know Broxah has a sum advantage. Okay, that makes sense. He is a level behind because Jankos got the second Krugs clear. Nice. Nice. So LeBlanc is not able to push this lane super fast, and this is just a plate gank. Nice. Nemesis does lose an entire minion wave. Okay, and now Broxah can look to push up there. He is going to lose on Scuttle Crab, so Broxah is getting hard out-farmed right now. So that's going to be tough for him. But you're going to be able to make it back up with this Krugs grip here. So he's going to take Krugs, reset, and then red buff, or Krugs, red buff, and gank top. And his Raptor's actually coming up, but he doesn't have the timer on it. So he may not. Alright, let's look where everybody's positioning now. Lane is actually freezing bottom. It's about to push back soon. Looking for a lane gank. Yeah, I told you this would be all about the bottom lane. Oh, and actually Wunder's coming down with his ultimate. So they're looking for the full pressure in the bottom lane. Kind of a missed ult, but still works out. Oh, Hylissang didn't have flash though. Okay. Nice. Now they're just looking to full pressure. So now what they can do is, with this pressure right here, they can push, get some plates on the tower, take mountain, and then do a lane swap if they want to, because Rift Herald's going to spawn. They're more interested in just denying minions. Interesting. Perkz did get a plate. It seems like they could have done more with that play. Bwipo's TP was down because it's the same timer as Wunder's. It seems like they could have just done a mountain. You would have been giving Jax a lot. It seems like they could have just done like 2 plates and a mountain Drake. It seems like they actually could have pulled that off. But maybe it could have been a little bit risque. And then just Jax would have gotten 2 plates and denied 3 minion waves. But they could have just, if Fnatic actually didn't respond because they couldn't with the TPs, and they may have just not with the TPs, they wouldn't have responded because they would have had a man disadvantage because Wunder's there. Then Wunder just stays bottom side. Perkz bases before the Mountain Drake is finished. If Fnatic doesn't contest, and he can do that, and I don't think they're getting a test, then he can go top side. And they can just do a lane swap, and the reason why they would want to do a lane swap is because Rift Herald's going to spawn very soon. Interesting. I think that's what they should have done, but they didn't actually capitalize on that. Since they had the mana advantage, and they know Bwipo's TP timing. That's pretty interesting they don't go for that. Does he kill him? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, he had a level disadvantage. Interesting. I actually thought Kled was going to win that. Wow, that is tragedy strikes on the Rift. Oh, was there a kill here? Oh, nice. Okay. Nice. Use both sums in that. And Nemesis still has flash. Broxah had to use his flash for that, it looks like. Okay. Wow. And G2 totally just like messed up all their opportunities there. Like I said before, they could have done the play that I said. I think that was the correct play. Man, and they just fumbled the 1v1. Alright. Well, that was good right there. Looks like Kled may get a plate. They don't know where Akali is, so that's why he's having the base right here. But he is going to deny a double stack minion wave. But this matchup is already so bad for Kled now. So he's already a level behind with 2 minion waves denying. With a double stack minion wave denying, maybe even triple wave denying. He's already a level behind. And has already lost the 1v1 in a matchup where you get outscaled. So that's going to be a big yikes. So Wunder's not going to be able to play the side lane much anymore. So they have a similar kind of a 1-3-1 disengage composition. They're going to have to look for these you know, flanks with the Kled, or just a big Bobby Big engage with the Kled. But Fnatic's definitely in a good spot in this game right now. The Akali's ahead. The Xayah's in a good spot. Leona has 3 kills. So Leona's fully online. Moby's stopwatch, fully upgraded Sightstone. And as soon as, like, honestly, if they just get Jax to 2 items, they 100% win this game. So they're in a great spot. Nice sidestep. Broxah die on this play? Yeah, he does. Oh, well, there we go. As I said before, if Leona gets anything locked up, it's so easy to finish a lockup. Or Broxah didn't die on that play. Now they're just looking for some plates. So Broxah's sitting in the bush. Another little plate gank. Oh, nice. Nice stopwatch. That denies the reset and the extra gold, but they still do die. So G2 actually ink out 2 kills there. Let's see. How do they do that? I think Rekkles makes a mistake here. Oh, he had ultimate. Wait. Why didn't he ult? Why didn't Rekkles ult? Yeah, they should have just lost Leona there. That's pretty weird. That's a big yikes. Yeah, why didn't he ult? He had ult on. Okay, and they just catch Broxah on a rotation. Wow, okay. Wow. Okay. Fnatic was in such a good spot, and now it's completely flipped on its head, and both neutrals are up. Wow. Wow. So now they're in a great position to take this Rift Herald if they want to, or if not, they're just going to get some plates for Perkz. Wow. I can't believe that just happened. Wow. Fnatic really messed that up. Alright, but now they're looking for a play. Oh wow, that was nice. Let's see how that happened. Okay, so that ward wasn't swept. They saw Kled backing because it's on the ward. Oh, and I bet they 100% expected Akali just to answer that minion wave, and they double TP onto there. Wow, wow, okay, that was not. That was a really good play by Fnatic. There was a misplay by Fnatic and then a very good play by Fnatic there. And I was just like looking for a cool opportunity because you would expect for the Akali to answer the mid wave because there's a wave already denying. You'd expect them to answer the lane swap. That was pretty interesting how that worked out. How did they see Nemesis? Oh, Caps just saw him. Okay, I see. Boom. And he burned ult. But since Perkz is down, and they're looking for that bush play, this is exactly what you want as Fnatic, honestly. Like you'll take Akali dying for Xayah to get 4 plates. As Ryda's turret plating was going down. So now it's going to be interesting to see which objective they prioritize. Mountain is probably the better objective right now. So probably we'll see teams posturing around the mountain. The big value in Rift Herald everybody should know is for the turret plates. You know, it just gives you a chance of getting a turret after you get the Rift Herald. Rift Herald can be impactful after 14, but I don't know why they went for that. Okay, so now they have Vision of Hylissang. I guess they do have a 2-level advantage on the LeBlanc. Oh, that was just misplayed by Caps. He missed. He used both parts of his ult while Rekkles is in the air. Yeah, big yikes. And then he had nowhere left to go because there was feathers behind him, feathers in front of him. All right, now Fnatic's in a great spot again. Now they just look for Bwipo 2 items, and they're actually able to fight because Rekkles is so far ahead. He's actually able to fight with the Lucian. And Lucian's doing a little bit more of a scaling build, so maybe that's okay. I was thinking maybe they were going to go for the 2 item build, but this is actually the 3 item build for Lucian. So this is interesting. This is a more scaling build. I think you gotta kind of just overinvest into the early game though with this composition. It doesn't matter now because so many mistakes were made and so many capitalizations. Does look like Broxah has the Pyke ultimate. Interesting if he even gets to use it. Now they get the Mountain Drake. Teams may fight over Rift Herald. It is a late Rift Herald, so the things with like a late Rift Herald is teams don't want to. You don't want to lose the game off of a 16-minute Rift Herald. Nice, actually do get the Pyke reset. Yeah, man. So G2 has a mid-game comp, and they're losing the mid-game fights. So this is a big yikes right now. They're not even like, it's not even the point in the game where Fnatic's comp outscales you, and Fnatic's winning fights. That's pretty scary. Did he get his flash right there? Rekkles is so far ahead. Wow, he has 2,000 gold on the next person. Wow, this is a perfect position for Fnatic. Does look like Fnatic can set up around the Rift Herald if they want to, but honestly, they just need Bwipo to get 2 items, and then they win the game. And they can just full-on 1-3-1 if they want to, or just teamfight with Bwipo because he's so big. Jax is a no-fun zone. Yep, so they're just running their 1-3-1 right now, and Jax hasn't even outscaled yet. I keep saying Jax, but he's just letting you know, he's about to be crazy. He's already stronger, but he's about to be nuts. Yep. So they have full control of the maps. They're just going to pressure around and grab this. They might save that Rift Herald for the next objective they want to take. It does suck that it's Cloud, but they might use it to break mid, or they might just use it as distraction to guarantee what is happening. Observer bug. So now we're in a little bit of a lull state because we're just waiting, honestly, for a reason to fight over something. Like like a dragon, like the Baron. This dragon is pretty low value because it's a Cloud, but G2 is kind of in a position where Fnatic can take what they want, so they can set up around the objective that they want, take the objective, run their 1-3-1, TP the Jackson, all that good stuff. So they're in a really good position because they can take a fight if they want to, or not take a fight, because their composition scales so much better. So they can actually just give over this Cloud Drake, get the Jax to where he's a monster, and by the time it's time to Baron fight, Fnatic's comp will already have outscaled, and they're already in a great position. So it's really on G2 to try to make something happen right now. So Fnatic's in such a good spot. They can just not, if they have great setup, they can take this Cloud Drake. But if they don't have great setup, then just don't take the Cloud Drake and just play for Baron. Get your Jax in a great spot. He split pushes in the side lane. He can actually 1v2 after he has Sojourn. And then you just play for vision control around Baron. You take a 5v5 or a 4v4, and you should win based off of the composition and the players that have the gold. So Fnatic's in a great spot. It does look like teams are building up for a fight right here. Leona gets a really nice engage. They have the Pyke ultimate, so they don't have a secondary form for engage. Bwipo already used his ultimate. I don't know if he has Sojourn yet. It does look like Fnatic wants to fight over the Cloud. Baron's up, but they have no threat. Like there's no threat. You see G2 moving towards topside. Fnatic doesn't have to be scared of that because there's no threat on Baron at this point in the game. Lucian doesn't have Blade of the Rune King, and they don't have Mountain. It's so hard for them to take it. They're actually going to use their Rift Herald to crack mid because they catch G2 on a back timing, and then they can use this pressure just to rotate over and take the Cloud Drake. It's unfortunate Hylissang dies there, but Bwipo was already on the Dragon, so they could safely take that. It does look like they're going to lose their mid tower because Hylissang kind of inted there. So they are going to lose mid tower and also get Rekkles. I don't know how that happened. Wow. So they'll get mid tower, but there's nothing to take off of that as long as Fnatic don't int right here. Then the wave will just push back in. They answer it. G2 is going to reset, get their wards. And now the next phase of the game is just going to be the Baron dance. So going to be setting up vision around Baron. Bwipo, after clearing out these minion waves, should have Sojourn. Oh, he actually catches Perkz out right here. Oh, I have seen part of this game. I actually started watching the middle of this game. So Rekkles just uses his TP, gets in right there, and gifts them over the Baron. That was pretty interesting. Cap's really inting this game. Wow, and this is just a free Baron because Cap's inted there. Wow. It is I mean, G2's 100% in a position where they have to make something happen. So he was just trying to make something happen, maybe, but it was big int. I guess because Lucian was down, Cap's just thinking, all right, I have to get a pick right now or they're going to take Baron. Yeah, big int. Big int. And now they can just run. They can run through 1. They can run 4-1. They can do whatever they want. This should be a siege that gets you an inhibitor. It's really hard to collapse on Jax. I would really like to see Jax just side laning right now. Jax can 100% 1v2. Can 100% 1v2. I think Jax ends up grouping. I remember seeing this game now. This should net you an inhibitor. They can play 3 lanes at once if they want to. So much survivability. Bwipo still has ulti. Nice. They want their mini waves to crash at the same time. At least in 2 lanes. Alright, Hylissang's just zoning so they can get some tower damage. Bwipo's a little bit low on mana. They're actually just going to go reset after that gold. They still have 45 seconds. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get any more off that. It's kind of interesting. You would have hoped to get the inhibitor off that push, but he still ended up getting 3k gold. And now they're looking for a fight on a rotation. Nice. They actually have full vision control of that top quadrant. They're going to peel back and take this mountain drake. And now Fnatic is just playing for that second Baron. Second Baron should be the end of the game. Should be the easy way to clean close this out. Bwipo is now level 16 with a Sojourn building towards Asterix. So as soon as he has that Asterix, he's actually a teamfight monster after he has Asterix. So let me tell you, dude, Jax is insane. Jax is so insane. I don't think I need to tell anybody how insane Jax is if you've ever played a game of solo queue. But Jax is insane. So G2 just looking for Fnatic brush, which is what they have to do. And look at Bwipo, dude. He gets the counter strike every 2 seconds. He is out of mana now. He does have TP, so he can push into that tower and then base. Yep. Yeah, Perkz is just looking for, he's just fishing for something. That's kind of what you have to do. And this game is pretty over, I would imagine. Wow. Yeah, Caps is just looking for something. I thought Rekkles was about to end there. Now Baron's coming up where they have 2 mountains and a Jax. And a Xayah. A level 17 Jax. With 2 mountains. Good luck with life. Oh, this is a replay. I was like, wait. Oh, okay, they're taking Baron. Nice. Alright, and this should be the end, right? Jax just pushes down bottom. They can 1-3-1 or they can 4-1 if they want to. So Rekkles just going back to clear the Raptors rather than pushing the mini wave because they want bottom and mid to crash at the same time. So that's what they're waiting on. They don't actually have vision, so Jax is hanging back, and now he's should push the lane. Oh, this is when he recalled because they're actually looking for a team fight end. I remember watching this and just thinking they could probably just Jax split push to the win. Like, honestly, I don't even think it's a bad idea to just let Jax get collapsed on because he can straight up 1v2. Okay, Jax TPing into the back line. Oh, wow, they actually trade 1-for-1 there, but then Jax is in the back line doing Jax things, being balanced. Nice. This actually ends up working out. I honestly think they're in a position where it's fine if Jax gets collapsed on by 3 because he'll actually be alive for so long and probably kill one. And if it's 2v1, he probably just kills them both. But they actually just get a team fight in because G2, G2 plays this correctly. They're not going to play to lose, so they look for a big fight top. And it was actually, it was great for Bwipo to TP in and win the team fight, and they win the game. I just think Fnatic maybe could have looked for more there, but since G2 is forcing the play, that was really good reactionary play by Fnatic. All right, and that's a big dub by Fnatic in game 1. So it's be cool to see how the rest of the series goes. Be interesting to see draft priority because now you've shown the Jax and that you can play the Jax into the Kled. And it seems like G2 had a high prioritization on the Kled. Didn't work out in the matchup. I think, honestly, G2 could have done way better stuff in the early game. When they made that map rotation with Kled going down to the bottom lane, and then they didn't actually capitalize on that pressure because they were scared of losing 2 plates top and 3 minion waves. I think that was the big turning point in the game for me, is that they didn't actually capitalize on the things that they were going to win on. They could have got that Mountain Drake and then actually just lane swapped if they wanted to, and have full priority on the Rift Herald. Sure, Jax is going to get 2 plates, but he was already going to get a plate in 2 minion waves because you went for that play. So since you go for the play, just commit on it. You get the Mountain Drake. They actually can't respond because you actually know Jax's TP timer because it's the same as Kled's. So you know they can't TP. So there's no way Fnatic is going to contest. So you can actually just recall your Lucian, go towards the top. And if they do contest, then you don't recall your Lucian and you wipe them and take the Mountain Drake for free. So I think that would have been the better play. You know, it's hard when you're in the heat of the moment to decide that, but I think that was a big ent play because now the point in the game where the Kled is stronger than the Jax is actually over because you did that play, and that's fine if it works out like that. If you get your Lucian ahead, you get the Rift Herald, you take towers, you get big money on your Lucian and stuff like that. That's fine if it does it like that. But I think that was a big turning point, and then the Kled goes back up with a level disadvantage and dies in the 1v1 in a matchup where you get outscaled. So that was the big turning point for me. Because after that, once Jax get 2 items, he's insane. Jax get 3 items, he's actually broken, actually unstoppable. So obviously Rekkles got super far ahead. They just kind of got ahead in every part of the map. I think Jankos had a pretty good game, but overall, just a good win by Fnatic and some things that G2 actually did really incorrectly in the early game. So they're not perfect. No team is. So stop thinking that they are. But anyways, alrighty. Anyways, hey, that's going to be it for this video. See you on the next one. Bye-bye. Bye.